Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. I just want to talk about Taylor Swift, and there seems to be a little bit of a backlash. And I started doing a video about this, and I got stuck talking about streaming and my perception of streaming and how I think that's sort of being misrepresented. I understand streaming sales do count, but not as much as they're, being counted. And people are definitely manipulating that system and everything, particularly fans, in support of their diva, their icon. But there is a bit of a backlash to Taylor Swift. There has been for a while, but the press has been afraid to talk about it or report about it or express it. A lot of people do feel that she's a fairly mediocre artist, and she just appeals to the masses because she's not really creative, or she doesn't do anything that's threatening or anything to anyone. So she's a very safe, generic artist she's a good performer, but that's it. She's not an artist on the level of, say, someone who changed things, who really changed, just created, like Madonna, Grace Jones, David Bowie, Kylie, Cyndi Lauper. All these people they changed things. They came out and things were never the same after them. Taylor Swift, she just became the one sort of big pop star that all the general audience could sort of approve of and get behind. And be marketed by, and she's really, really clever at manipulating the system and the way the sales work and streaming is and the fans. And she has fans buying 20 copies of an album, so it looks like there's 20 times as many fans there as there actually are. And yes, other artists have done multiple album releases, but not the level that she's pushed it. And she's managed to push it where people are actually doing it. And, a lot of people don't like this. They see it for what it is. They don't like it. And places like Guinness are not, going along with this idea that she's the biggest selling, pop artist now and has sold more than Madonna, because in reality she hasn't. Because a lot of Madonna's sales weren't recorded and couldn't be recorded because of the way everything worked back then. You'd buy an album or a CD, you'd copy it and give it to like a bunch of your friends. You'd watch, shows like video hits and MTV, and all those views weren't counted, and it's just not the same system. You can't compare the two, and one really didn't represent how many people were really listening and watching, and one is able to be manipulated to make it look like more people are than actually are. So it's a problem so far as really recording. And even if Taylor Swift did sell more records in her career than Madonna, she didn't change the world, and she wasn't the first. Madonna was the first real queen of pop, and you're never going to change that. You may come up later and work the system better and be more successful, but you weren't the first. Like Elvis is always going to be the king of rock. Michael's always going to be the king of pop. Madonna's always going to be the queen of pop. I'm not quite sure who the queen of rock is. I think it was Tina Turner. I'm not sure. They never seemed to crown a queen because of the sexism back in the day. It was they were happy to, crown Elvis the king, but they didn't really crown a queen. So that's a bit problematic. But Madonna was crowned the queen of pop, and you don't lose that crown and that position and that role just because someone else comes up afterwards, copies everything you did, and maybe does it better or is more successful with it. It's not quite the same. But there are people who get this who don't really like Taylor Swift, and now the issue is the album itself.